All right. This is Franchise Hockey Manager 6. I have decided to try to learn the game by taking over the caps. If you hear any background noise, there's a truck in my alley. Hopefully the mic won't pick up too much of that. But anyway, so this is Franchise Hockey Manager 6, which came out last fall, 2019. I, Jeff Lebowski, have taken over the caps as GM and head coach and taken over at the beginning of the 2019 season. So the rosters and all that are not up to date. So like Brandon Dillon won't be on the caps, and I don't know, other random stuff like Holtby's still there. So this is the caps as they began last season, and I'll play the full season, not the COVID shortened season. So anyways, I don't know much about this game. I'm just kind of learning it and hopefully I won't ruin my team, the Capitals here. So as you can see, it's October 2nd, 2019. So it's opening night against the Blues. I've played through the preseason, made a few minor moves, a couple contract extensions. Go through that real quick before we get to the opening night lineup. And so, 1 second. All right, there we go. So a few things we've done. I signed Max Patterson and Jordan Sambrook, just two young guys who were out there in free agency. So Patterson will play with the Stingrays. Sambrook is a right D where I needed some depth. He'll be in Hershey. He's nowhere near ready, but he's got decent potential. Then I made two contract extensions. For some reason, Jonas Siegenthaler was willing to sign a 3-year, $800,000 extension. That's cap hit per year. And then I also signed Backstrom, not the 5-year, 9-point-whatever million he signed in real life. And this, I signed him for 3 more years at a cap hit of $8.25 million per year. And let's see, I traded Brandon Leipzig and a 6th-round pick in the 2020 draft to the Ducks for a 3rd-round pick in that draft. Juice is up. He made the team. I made a waiver claim. This is Vladislav, Kamenev? Sure. He was with the Avs in real life, but I think he actually went back to Russia and plays in the KHL now. But he's 23 years old, can play center or the right side, and has some decent potential. Let's see where his career stats are. So going into last season, he played the 2018-19 season in Colorado again in 23 games and put up 5 points. But he can play the center of the ice. He's got some offensive skill, good puck handling, good shooting. Seems like an all-around, a player worth taking a flyer on off of waivers. And then Copley, Lillington, and Boyd all cleared waivers and went down to Hershey. So what does the opening night lineup look like? Well, thanks for asking. So Kuznetsov is out because he's got that 3-game suspension that he had to start this season in real life. And so we've got Ovechkin, Backstrom, Oshie on the first line. Second line is Rana, Eller, Wilson. Of course, Kuznetsov will slot in here. Third line, we got Hagwin and then Chandler Stevenson. So again, these rosters are the start of the 2019 season. So he, that chemistry thing has changed since I last looked at it. So he's going to center the third line for now, and Kamenev is the third line right winger, just trying to get a shot there. And Panic, Dowd, and Hathaway is the fourth line. Right now, the only extra forward is Kuznetsov. I would venture to say Nick Dowd or Chandler Stevenson will come out of the lineup. Did I call him Connor a minute ago? I might have. I don't know why. One of those two guys will come out and Kuznetsov will come in. Kamenev could also come out of the lineup too if he doesn't pan out. And then on D, got Orlov and Carlson playing on the first pair. The second pair is Kempney and Jensen. And the third pair is Juice and Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler can play the right side pretty effectively in this game. A lot of guys see a decent drop if they play on their offside, but Siegenthaler, not too big of a drop. So I've got him playing on the right side in order to let Juice get in the lineup, and then so that puts Gudas out of the lineup. Samsonov is the backup goalie. Holtby is in his last year on the team, likely because his contract demand just isn't something that we're probably going to be able to stomach, unfortunately. And then, so these roles here you can change. So this isn't saying like, oh, Ovechkin's a perimeter shooter. Basically, you can just pick what kind of role. So sniper, perimeter shooter, garbage collector, he's going to be good. I mean, Ovechkin's going to be good at anything offensive. The perimeter shooter seemed to work really well with his skill set because he's really good at getting open, and perimeter shooters are dangerous if they're open with good shooting accuracy. So that's why I have him as that kind of forward. And then I have more defensive type minded guys on my right wing to balance out the lines. Like I have Oshie playing in a more defensive role, which, him and Wilson are definitely stronger defensive players in real life, so that makes sense. And let's see, what else do we have going on here? The staff, I am the head coach, so Todd Reardon is out a year earlier. And then the rest are, they got Forsyth, they got Murray, Kolzig, all that. So the rest are real life coaches going into last season. Looking at the finances, the cap hits, what we've got going on here. This is laid out a good bit like Cap Geek, only it tells you what their status is when their contract expires over here instead of here where it expires. So we've got a lot of people under contract for next year. Stevenson and Kamenev are not, and then on the defensive side, Juice and Gudas are not, and the big one is Holtby, of course. And I can show you what it would take to keep Holtby. So he's asking for 6 years at $7.99 million per year, which is just not going to happen, man. Not with Samsonov coming up and also needing to re-sign Ovechkin and Vrana the year after. That's just, this will be his last season, but I am going to keep him. I'm not, I would consider trading him in possibly, but I'd like to play this season with the best team possible. The whole name of the game here is to get Ovechkin and Backstrom another cup, get Ovechkin the goal record. Those are the things I want to do, and I figure I have the best chance of winning this year with Holtby. So I might sell out the future a bit too, going for it this year. We'll see how the team does. And then there were a couple other things that I wanted to show here. So the season preview basically says that the cup favorite is Tampa, no big surprise there. The Leafs and Nashville are challengers. Pittsburgh is the dark horse. And the scoring race will be between McDavid, Kucherov, and Crosby, apparently. Best defensemen entering this season are Burns, Carlson, and Hedman. And the goalies, Gibson, Vasilevsky, and Rinne are considered to be the best goalies entering this year. I was trying to work out a trade with the Ducks. I was trying to get Daniel Sprong just because I like his depth on the right side. I like him coming in, but I don't want to give up Juice like the Caps did in real life. I'd rather Juice be on my team. But I offered Boyd. I offered their third-round pick back to them and then a sixth-rounder next year, and they said that's close, but no thanks. So that was enough for me. Kamenev will kind of fill that role for me of hopefully a guy I'm taking a flyer on the third-line right wing spot. And then let's go ahead to the tactics. You can set your breakouts, your offense, your defense, all that. Pretty cool. I have it split up by line. So like my first line, the breakout is through center because you want a good puck carrier with skating and puck handling skills at center for that. Backstrom is that. Same thing with the second line through center. Third line, I did flexible reaction, which basically is a little bit more conservative. So, and then along the boards for the fourth line, again, a little bit more conservative, reduces the chance of a giveaway. So got those lines playing, and then playing a little more conservative, third or fourth line. And then you can also set up how you want defensive zone and offensive zone and line matching done. So, geeks like Peter Hassett, when they write the snapshot on this team, can kind of talk about this. So I've got the first line I want out there as much as possible with offensive zone faceoffs. I'm also doing line matching straight down the board. I'm not doing a shutdown line. I'm going power on power. Much like Barry Trotz did. Did Reardon do that? I don't really remember. I didn't follow that stuff as closely during the Reardon era as I did during the Trotz era, but he probably did. And so I've got power versus power, and then a couple more things here. I hope this isn't dragging on too long for you. And then here I've got power play. I've got Ovechkin on the point, Vrana, Backstrom, Oshie, Ovechkin, Carlson. Now, without Kuznetsov, my second power play line is Hagelin, Eller, Wilson with Juice and Orlov. And then the penalty kill, I've got 3 different sets. I wanted to rest my main guys. The AI had it set up so like Backstrom and Oshie were the top penalty killing pair. I didn't really want that. I got Hagelin, Stevenson, then Eller, Wilson, then Hathaway, Dowd. And just in terms of how goalie starts will be handled, this is on a 0 to 4 scale? Yeah. So the hottest goalie, I've got that fairly influential, the best rated goalie in the middle. Alternate back to back games always. Always start a goalie shutout. I don't care. Start the best goalie most of the time. Backup start frequency is a 2, and then stick with the starter during the playoffs. So I want Samsonov to get some starts, but I hope he's the starter. And in terms of trades that I might make, I would say the places I'm going to be looking to upgrade are possibly on this right wing, third line right wing. We'll see how Hagwon and I could always move Panic up, but I might need some more scoring there. And then defense, I would say I'll probably be looking for some defenders. And the only thing I really consider set here is Orlov and Carlson, and I might be able to move them around even. I would say I might bring in a left and a right D sometime this season. Maybe a guy named Mike Green on the right side. Never know. Anyway, so that's the team. I don't really know how I'll update this, but I'll do it enough, and there are fancy stats in this game, so I can update you on Corsi and all that once we got some games going. But this is how the 2019-20 season is starting for the Caps, managed by Jeff Lebowski, the dude.